Commission European Union delegation to Liberia is here present. His Excellency Carl Beckus, Ambassador Designate Head of Mission, Embassy of Sweden is here. And along the way, we are going to recognize others where the correction mark is here to certify. The Office of the President is also here present. Along the way, pardon me, we are going to recognize you all. We now go straight over to our welcome remarks. And this is going to be done by Honorable Stephen Y. Mambu. He's the Director General of LISA. And of course, it is the Liberia Standards Authority. We now welcome you to the microphone for welcome remarks. Honorable.
Thank you. Honorable President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yumon Boakai, Her Excellency and Minister of Commerce and Industry and Chairperson of the Council of LISA, Madam Magdalene Dagosa, members of LISA's Council, distinguished representatives of the EU, ECOWAS, and other developmental partners present here, heads of government agencies, ministries and agencies, members of the private sector and business community, members of the Fourth Estate, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is with profound pride and deep sense of national responsibility that I welcome you all to this official commissioning and dedication of the Liberia Standards Authority. Today is not merely a ceremonial occasion. It is accumulation of a deliberate institutional journey, a journey from vision to realization, and from a laboratory constrained by circumstance to a statutory authority position to serve the Republic of Liberia with professionalism, scientific rigor, and purpose. However, this journey would not have been possible without the crucial roles of some personalities and organizations in our midst today. In context of that, I wish to recognize the pioneer of a vision conceived of what we have here today. We have in our midst the Honorable Minister and distinguished international personality, Olubanki King Akirere, as the one who conceived the vision for the development and the establishment of the Liberia Standards Authority during her regime as the Minister of Commerce and Industry. Ma, we recognize this with profound gratitude. We also have in our midst, of which I don't want to jump over, is Dr. Clara Do Ivogo. She served as the former National Technical Coordinator of the West African Quality System Program then, that led to the establishment of the National Standards Laboratory vis-a-vis the Liberia Standards Authority. We are very much proud that today, what we have here, we have worked in your vision and in your strive to see an institution that will promote Liberia-owned businesses and to ensure consumer protection. We are proud of you, Madam. Over the past week, we have engaged in media and private sector regulators, academia, development partners, and the general public. We did so intentionally. We wanted this movement to represent not just a ribbon cutting, but a national affirmation of a functional service-oriented institution that is ready to deliver. The Liberia Standards Authority was established by law in 2022 and operationalized in 2024 under the government of our dear President. Having seen the pivotal role of LISA in national development agenda of Liberia as a national standards body. This transition marked a decision shift in how Liberia approaches standards, testing, certification, inspection, and metrology. It signaled our commitment to building a credible national quality infrastructure, one of which that protects consumers, promotes businesses, safeguards public health, and enables trade. Today's commissioning also represents a tangible result of strategic partnership. Through the EU-funded projects over the years, until now, where we have in place the Liberia Food Safety Initiative implemented by UNIDO, this facility has been rehabilitated, powered, and water supply system installed and stabilized, and technical capacity strengthened. We extend our deeply sincere appreciation to our partners, especially the EU, whose support has been instrumental in restoring and elevating the institution. However, the infrastructure alone does not define an authority. What defines LISA is its mandate, its professionalism, and its service orientation. Over the past 1 year, we have demonstrated that LISA is operational. Testing, inspection, certification, and calibration services have been resumed. Our doors are open for businesses. We recognize that Liberia's economic future under the African Continental Free Trade Area demands compliance, traceability, and competitiveness. Without standards, there is no access. Without certification, there is no confidence. Without quality assurance, there is no sustainable trade. LISA therefore stands at the intersection of science, safety, and economic growth. To our private sector partners, those that are present here and those are listening to me, we say dearly, LISA is here to support your businesses. We are not merely a regulator. We are a service provider and a partner in your growth. To our regulators and public institutions, we reaffirm our commitment to coordination and technical collaboration. To our development partners, we commit ourselves to transparency, sustainability, and measurable results. Your Excellency, today's dedication symbolizes national confidence in the importance of standard-based development. It affirms that Liberia understands that modern economies are built not only on resources, but the systems of measurement, verification, and trust. Therefore, on behalf of the Council, the management and staff of the Liberia Standards Authority, again, I warmly welcome you all and thank you for honoring us with your presence in this historic occasion. May this commissioning mark the beginning of a new era of quality, credibility, competitiveness of Liberia. Thank you all.
Our profound thanks and appreciation to Honorable Stephen Y. Mambu, the Director General of the Liberia Standards Authority here. And before I proceed, I'd like to apologize that it was an oversight when I said His Excellency instead of Her Excellency in person of Nona DePries, the Ambassador European Union Delegation to Liberia. With that said, we now proceed to, we're still trying to check mark the dignitaries here present. we don't want to cherry pick, so we beg your pardon if we name and we did not name. So I'm working with protocol in making sure that we do our possible best in recognizing all the figures here present. Up next is the poem recitation by Dixon N. Yadon. And this is a poem in relations to what we are here for. Of course, it is the ceremony marking the official launch and commissioning of the Liberia Standards Authority. So it means that the poem is in concert of why we are here. So we now turn the mic over to you, our brother Dixon N. Yadon, for a poem recitation. Thank you.
The poem is titled Unsafe Food is No Food at All. A farmer once told me, "Son, food is more than just a matter of taste. It is the very boundary between wildness and illness. Our rich land and steady weather could provide every ingredient for a balanced diet, but contaminated food still tastes heavy on our tongues. Our rivers flow with fishes pregnant with protein. Our cassava and rice plantations breed carbohydrate like an energy mine. Yet, each day we bruise our bellies with the burns of unsafe food." I, a novice attempting to unearth the source of his disappointment, asked him, "Sir, what do you mean?" He replied, "If the collarbone that is shooting out of my neck doesn't tell the full story, then visit the hospitals. See how diarrhea has ambushed newborns like they are prisoners of war. This fertile soil beckons us to grow good, to grow healthy. In this untapped Garden of Eden, we can, yet each day our digestive system falls prey to contaminated food. We are an unhealthy nation." "Why is that?" I asked him. He said, "You see, at seaports and borders, we roll up the red carpet for food and set up reinforced security to detect drugs like unsafe food isn't more damaging than narcotics. Even warehouse meant to store food doesn't meet accepted standard and end up stealing the nutrients from our food. Such food now pours in a lie in whether market and business center, and every street sellers know where to get this cheap poison except the regulators. Food, our most basic need, is basically our quickest route to the hospital. With countless cases of typhoid and diarrhea, this is a clarion call to the authority that what goes into our system must be conducive for consumption. Our food must undergo regulation from the day it is uprooted until it enters the dining room. So whether it is from the entry point or market ground or street corners or supermarket, the goal is to get rid of food that breaks down our immune system." For so long, this nation have tried to ignore this burning sensation of hunger. But this hunger is not just for food, but for safe food. Look around. This Garden of Eden soil is ripe with the right investment. Food, both homegrown and imported, can serve its purpose, keeping our bones rigid, our brains active, and our hearts beating to the tones of a balanced diet. In this struggle for food safety, the goal is that our children only hear of diarrhea and typhoid in bedtime stories. So, let history remember us as a generation who sow healthy food and reap the fruits of a healthy nation. This is a call to farmers, importers, consumers, and regulators that we need to invest into sustainable transformation. If the goal is a healthy future, then we must regulate every stage of our food value chain. Thank you.
Wow, this was awesome. You know, we tend to overlook these kinds of intellectuals in our country. Back in high school, when you do a recitation, especially when you are extemporaneous, you're not looking on paper, you must be a genius. And this was a very difficult, it looked easy, but it was a very difficult piece. presented here by the young man. And I hope we can be able to commend him during and after the program to encourage him to do more. And with that said, we want to bring that to the attention of our own dear Honorable Minister of Education. And I know I saw her wearing her face a very impressive smile as the young man stood right here profoundly, saying those things in relation to the program. Again, we'd like to recognize they keep updating the list, and of course, as we update, we will have to recognize Honorable Magdalene Ellen Dagoze, Dr. Jazo Marley Jala, Minister of Education, just arrived, and Mr. James M. Strotter, he's the president of the Liberia Business Association. He's here present. And Her Excellency, I don't want to make mistake again, Ambassador Nona DePriest, head of delegation, European Union delegation to Liberia. And there was a correction by protocol that he is not the ambassador designate. Instead, he's the head of mission embassy of Sweden, His Excellency Carl Buckers. And of course, Dilda Presuto is the plenipotentiary to France and deputy head of mission here at this all-important program present. We are going to update the list as I receive it from protocol. Madam N. Christine Omotoni, resident coordinator, United Nations in Liberia. Mr. Anthony Nimle, deputy project manager, UNIDO, Youth Rising. Of course, we're going to update you with the persons here present as the protocols approve the names as they recognize you. Up next, we go straight to remarks by Honorable Nate B. Davids. He is the president of the Liberia Chambers of Commerce. Let's give him a hand of applause.
Morning. How you doing? Good morning, and let me stand on protocols and say all protocols observed. I don't want to fall in the situation of our announcer and our MC to be fiddling with too many names. I am very honored and appreciative to the Minister of Commerce, who chairs the Standards Authority Board, for giving the Chamber an opportunity to be able to offer remarks at this occasion. Let me first, though, take the opportunity to extend my appreciation to the organizers for continuing. I see more and more that we are including young people in these programs, and that's very good because we get an opportunity to see the diversity of talents, skills, and abilities that we have here, which, of course, we continue to champion the cause of our efforts and our young people. Let me just briefly take this opportunity to congratulate the government of Liberia with support from our development partners for us arriving at this juncture in terms of seeing more and more the readiness and the readiness to go of the National Standards Authority. This is a journey that we embarked upon several years ago, and I think Stephen touched on it briefly through our work with partners, particularly UNIDO and others. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to endorse the National Trade Facilitation Policy. In my remarks, I'd like to highlight the pieces coming together, and we see the pieces beginning to come together. With the National Trade Facilitation Policy and plan beginning to roll out, which recognizes how we begin to engage not only with regard to the after, which is the Africa Agenda for Free Trade within Africa, but also ECOWAS and also Mono River Union. But trade, as we know it, is essential to human and mankind. And it's not just trade with our partners externally, as we pointed out yesterday, it's also trade amongst ourselves. And standards, certification, so forth, are critical to expanding and improving those trade opportunities. As I had the opportunity to share with our Minister of Commerce yesterday, and she knows her doors are always open to the Liberia Chamber of Commerce and also other business organizations, including Liberia Business Association, that while we are setting our pathway to ensure that we improve opportunities of trade across borders, we also give equal attention to trade within our borders. And that is critical. Those trade within our borders, we have a lot of our young business people that are currently producing, processing different goods that we need to find on our supermarkets. And I said that to the minister. Okay? We need to be deliberate in making it clear. Now, as president of the chamber, I have a number of supermarkets that are members of the chamber, and I make it clear to them. However, we need the government to also make that very, very clear, that we need to see those efforts, those processes of our young people. And we remove the opportunity for excuse by having the standards authority. Because our young people now are able to ensure that the things that they produce are certified, are tested, and can compete not only in Liberia, but internationally. And with that, there is no excuse that their products should not be on the shelves of our supermarkets. So I'm delighted that we are at this journey. Let me congratulate Madam, the President, through you, in terms of us reaching this milestone, but the journey continues. In our discussions with the standards leadership, we made it clear that we would like now to see how we engage in rolling out. You don't try to do everything at one time, but in rolling out some of those key areas where we are ensuring that those products that are imported into Liberia achieve certain benchmarks of international standards. In closing, we have seen a situation of a number of fires that have occurred over the last several years. And we're not necessarily suggesting of anyone to blame. However, substandard electrical equipment may lead to those types of occurrences. If we are ensuring that those products, particularly around building materials, are meeting various standards internationally before they enter our markets, then not only are we giving opportunities for our people to trade, but we're also making sure that we are protecting the consumers and protecting our people. And so with regard to the rollout and the work of the Standards Authority, the Liberia Chamber of Commerce remains a committed partner, a very committed partner in this rollout. And as I continue to say, Madam Minister, as the chair of the board, we continue to work with you and work with our colleagues to make sure that we achieve the kind of successes we would need to achieve to ensure that we create the kind of opportunities, particularly for our young people. Thank you again. Congratulations. Congratulations to the government. Congratulations to our development partners for their efforts. On the weekend, we depart for an investment forum in Europe with strong support from the EU. And it's all, again, these are all factors associated with us achieving those successes. So in closing, let me also say I will probably have to steal away very early because At late yesterday, I got a call from the Vice President's office in connection with another issue associated with our planning for the EU and, of course, certain things that we need to do with respect to continuing to improve the environment, the private sector environment. So, again, thank you very much for the opportunity to provide these statements. And again, congratulations to the government of Liberia and all of us for reaching where we are as we march on this journey.
Thanks so very kindly to the president of the Liberia Chambers of Commerce in Nadi B. Davis, Honorable Nadi B. Davis. He spoke full and on behalf of the private sector. Up next, we call the cultural troops for the performance, and we will want protocol to advise them to go just right at where the billboards are posted. So the cultural troops, you are invited for a live performance. Let's put our hands together as we welcome on stage our cultural troupe for a live performance.
Hello. Well, my name is Kekura M. Kamara. I'm the Arts and Cultural Ambassador of Liberia. We're greatly honored to be here today. We bring you greetings from the people of India. We just returned from a festival that was organized in the Ariana state, and this is the troupe that represented Liberia at this unique global performances. More than 38 different countries participated in this festival. Through arts and culture, we are able today to rebrand Liberia's image. I must confess that the festival was a unique one. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will, for your entertainment today, you are the first to see the group perform since we returned on Monday, after 2 weeks. And so, you know, the space is so small, but we'll try our best. But the people love their culture. The Indian people love their culture. Liberia, we must respect. This is our identity. And our interaction with the people of India was so marvelous. They accepted and they treated us like real ambassadors. So, ladies and gentlemen, just for your entertainment, we just bring small of what we presented in India. Thank you so much.
Kindly be seated. Once the president says, don't add nobody there.
We want to say thank you to the cultural troupe right there for that very, very splendid performance. That was awesome. That was magnificent, and we'd like to give them another hand of applause. We want to officially welcome the President of the Republic of Liberia here, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Yoma Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. And again, we want to say thanks for the splendid performance. Mr. President, just before you came in, they said that they are just from India. And of course, evidently, you can see that they are just from India. Everything, the drum is even very clean. It tell you that they're just from India. The drum went India too, right? Oh, okay. So we want to welcome everybody from India, and thanks for the performance. At about this time, we go straightly over to our special remarks, and we like to call on Providence Mavubi. And Providence Mavubi is the Director of Division of Agribusiness and Infrastructure Development, UNIDO.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Minister present, Your Excellency, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Her Excellency, the Ambassador of European Union Delegation to Liberia, heads of United Nations agencies and UN colleagues, senior officials of the government of Liberia here present, representative of the private sector, member of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor to deliver this remark on behalf of the Director General of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization at this high-level occasion marking the commissioning of the Liberia Standards Authority laboratories. This event is a landmark in Liberia's drive to protect its citizens, support its productive sector, and position the country as a competitive and trusted partner in regional and global trade. Today, we do more than inaugurate a rehabilitated facility. We celebrate a strategic investment in governance, public health, and economic transformation. A strong national standard and quality infrastructure is the silent backbone of modern economies. It protects food safety, open doors to new markets, and build confidence among investors and trading partners. Build on more than 2 decades of cooperation between UNIDO and Liberia in support of private sector development, agro-industrial value chain, standard and quality infrastructure, and technical and vocational education and training, fully aligned to Liberia's arrest agenda. UNIDO remain committed to work hand in hand with your government to promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, job creation, and resilient food system. Director General, to commend Your Excellency and your government of Liberia for your leadership and vision in empowering in quality infrastructure can translate into better livelihood, stronger institution, and greater opportunity for all. Today's inauguration marks the beginning of the new services. Producer gain competitiveness and market.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President Joseph Numa Boakai, the President of the Republic of Liberia, honorable ministers present and senior government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, and representatives of international organizations, representatives of the private sector, UN colleagues, and my sister Mavubi from headquarters, welcome. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Welcome everyone to this important meeting, Lisa. Today's event reflects Liberia's continued commitment to strengthening its national quality infrastructure, safer food systems for all, recognize the Ministry of Commerce and Industry for establishing LISA and for prioritizing standards, conformity assessment, food safety as key pillars of national development. And indeed, we really see the visionary leadership of President Boakai, because in the arrest agenda we see clearly agriculture, sanitation, all these things to be aligned. So this forward-looking and vision, which helps all these programs anchor in a clear direction, we really appreciate the vision of the leadership of this country. We recognize the cooperation between the government of Liberia and the European Union, and also the work we do together, because all this is possible because of the financial support made to Liberia food safety initiative that was given by the European Union. I want to thank on behalf of the UN family, one of our family members, UNIDO, who is implementing this program. Thank you. I really want to acknowledge that food safety is not only a public health matter. It is an economic development issue. Reliable testing, inspection, and certification systems protect consumers, strengthen trust in markets, and enable Liberian producers to compete at regional and international levels. So, as you prepare to go to Europe to present your strength, these are some of the showcases of things that really make Liberia a good partner. I would like to highlight that Liberia's development agenda, the arrest, emphasizes economic diversification, agricultural transformation, and private sector growth, all of which depend on strong institutions like this one, Lisa. I want to also acknowledge that investment in laboratory rehabilitation, reliable power and water systems, modern equipment, and capacity development, I see the Minister of Education here, are critical steps towards building a credible and internationally recognized conformity assessment system in general. And I always tell my UN colleagues that it is a whole of system approach, or a whole of country approach, but also a whole of UN approach. I couldn't see UNIDO succeeding on this if FAO, if FAD, if WF, if all UNDP, all those other agencies are not, working together. So I want to reiterate that the United Nations system in Liberia remains committed to supporting institutional capacity development that enables inclusive and sustainable industrialization in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is articulated in our own UN and Government of Liberia cooperation framework. So, as I conclude, I would like to encourage and continued collaboration between government institutions, development partners, academia, the private sector, to ensure that LISA operates sustainably, achieves greater accreditations, and delivers reliable services to business and consumers alike. I want to applaud the technical staff and the leadership of LISA for their dedication and professionalism in advancing standards and quality infrastructure in Liberia. Again, I reaffirm the UN's continued partnership with Liberia in strengthening institutions, fostering economic resilience, and building systems that safeguard citizens and unlock opportunities for future generations, as well as promote continued opportunities for investment promotion. I'm really confident that today's inauguration marks not the end of the process, but the beginning of a stronger, more resilient, and more competitive Liberia food systems. UN is committed to support everyone, especially the youth who are the majority of this country. And as usual, I never conclude my remark without saying, may God bless Mama Liberia. Thank you so much.
Of course, we want to say thanks there to Madam Christine and Omotoni for that presentation. She represents the United Nations. She is the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Liberia. And up next is Her Excellency Nona DePries, Ambassador, European Union Delegation to Liberia.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President Joseph Nyoma Boakai Sr., honored dignitaries, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stand on existing protocols. I'm really pleased to be standing here in front of the newly refurbished Liberia Standards Authority on such a momentous occasion. A beautiful building housing essential equipment and providing a working home to experts who are trained to guarantee food safety in Liberia. Your Excellency, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the world, the importance of food safety is recognized as a human right. Global pandemics, the effect of climate change, conflicts, and economic challenges negatively affect food security worldwide and hence impact food safety. The current and still unresolved food safety concerns in Liberia linked to frozen food in view of the Liberia EU Business Forum, which will be presented are, amongst others, infrastructure, energy, tourism, extractive industries, waste management and recycling, but also agriculture, fisheries, forestry, important shared priorities. And these are the foundations for reliable conformity assessment services in the country, and which thereby directly impacts three major policy agendas: health, agriculture, and trade. The project doesn't stop there. It also provided support to the hand in hand with the government in fostering a conducive business environment in the country and contributing to the establishment of a robust food system that's
to Liberia.
Thank you. His Excellency Joseph General Liberia Standard Authority, representative of our development partners, European Union, United Nations, Industrial Development Organizations, Foundation upon today's program represents the strengthening of a national institution that is essential to our economic governance infrastructure. Liberia Standard Authority, strong standards are not barriers. They signal to investors that Liberia is serious about quality, accountability, and competitiveness. In the area of trade facilitation, the importance of standard we are better positioned to support our exporters, reduce technical barriers to trade, and attract responsible foreign investors. This is how we enhance our country, equality-driven, rules-based economy. It reflects our dedication to consumers' protection, fair trade practices, and industrial. It signals the results to build one economy where integrity, safety, and excellence defines commercial landscape. Your answer.
Madam Minister of Commerce and Industry. Program and representative of international organizations, other development partners, Madam former Minister of Foreign Affairs and members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On the occasion of the official launch and commissioning ceremonies and rehabilitation of laboratories of the Liberia Standard Authority,
former Minister of Foreign Affairs as well, members of the Diplomatic Corps, European Union, they cheat other people to make profit. I've lived in this country and I've been very vigilant. There was a time we had a toilet issue and we are cheated every day on those bases. I'm glad that when you go through, and it's about time that we have to measurement quality. We have to pay attention to it. Don't think that people will just buy. I always tell people that a person who comes to buy a table protect the consumer. It protect. You see buildings that collapse within they were 2 years ago. $50 gallons. That's why a lot of people made money. So you take this view up, but the one there, they call it what, the papa. And that's why they make the money out of. We are shortchanging. Tax is not just for us to dedicate, but to make sure that we maintain the standard so that we become part of the international community. Thank you very much.
Next, the cutting. Okay, so we are told that where the cultural troops were posted is exactly where the group photo will be taken. So after the photo is the cutting of the ribbon, and they will tour the facility, and thereafter the president departs. Area, you can visit just and if you are a favorite of a fan of coffee, well, we have what is produced here in Liberia by a Liberian, courtesy of Sange Brisbane. You can meet her and place in your order, ask all of the questions. The organizers are asking that all of the speech delivered should please be